If I turn the heart around this, can you identify which is right or left?
Kung ahang attribute.
Muna yung right.
Hindi mo gatumang mo.
Okay.
Okay. You're facing the heart like this. How do you identify this, right or left? The thicker muscle.
The thicker muscle, yeah.
It's not the actual demarcation, but if you're having a hard time and the time is only 45 seconds, you have to think that this is the first part. The left ventricle is thicker. So this thicker muscle. So this should be your left ventricle, no? Your heart, no? Weird ka siya, di ba? So let's start with your borders. So you have to hold your heart like this. Now you have to think of the heart. This should be your apex. So the apex of your heart would be like this, no? The apex of heart. So a normal heart would stand like this, right? A normal heart would stand like this. And a normal heart would stand like this. You have to evaluate left, right, superior, inferior, anterior, posterior. So this would be your base. Which is your base again?
Posterior to the apex.
Posterior to the left atrium.
Left
So
atrium.
this is the left atrium, no? This left atrium. Left atrium and your vessels, the entrance of your vessel. So this would be your base. You have to hold. The base would lie. When you lie down, the base would be the one relaxed. So this would be your base. You have to look at your heart like that. So this would be your left. This would be your right. This would be your left. This would be your anterior. This would be your superior. Superior. What is your superior nga again?
Superior border.
Superior border is your right, right and
Right,
left,
right and left atrium and the auricles.
and the auricles. So your diaphragmatic surface would be your
Your left
ventricle.
left
Why
ventricle.
ventricle, but not all the ang right. Because
Partly
again,
naman.
Partly lang.
right siya.
But
So
mostly.
remember, your heart is like this. So you get inside your body, your heart is like this. So the surfaces would be your, this would be your base. This would be your right. This would be your left. So your right border would be your
Your right atrium.
right atrium.
Right atrium.
So right atrium. So your anterior border would be
Right ventricle.
Right
right
ventricle.
ventricle. So your anterior surface would be
Right
Right
ventricle.
ventricle.
right ventricle, gyapon.
Yeah.
So, sure mo? Right ventricle.
Right
Right
ventricle.
ventricle. And partly your left ventricle. Partly your left. So it compromises actually of your right and left ventricle. Pero majority of people,
Right.
right ventricle. So example of majority of people. Majority of people, the blood supply of your SA node would come from your
Right coronary artery.
right coronary artery. 20% of people would come from your
Left
left coronary artery. So these are your demarcators. So those are the parts of anatomy nga maglahi-lahi. Or so before we proceed to your arteries, let's go for inside your chambers first, ah. So, then we want to look at the cadaver. Because inside your cadaver kasi, you can actually see your carotids. Your carotid, your subclavians. They can still possibly tag your carotids, your subclavians, your trachea. Ano magtag mo sa trachea? What are the importance of tracking your trachea, your esophagus?
Inferior mediastinum.
Because those three vessels, including your aorta, are very close. So telling them apart is very important. No? Telling them apart is very important between those three vessels. If you can't tell apart those three vessels, that's a very problem if you want to become a doctor, especially if you want to become a surgeon. Especially if you're undergoing first year medicine. That's a very big problem. So let's go inside your heart again. No, you have your right,
Right atrium.
your right,
Ventricle.
your left, your left. What goes in your right atrium?
Superiorly.
Superior and your
Inferior.
inferior venomous. Now, I think you've undergone this last anatomy lab, no? So review rin siya.
Actually, kami-kami lang yun.
Kami
pa.
anatomy lab din. Wala siya gatunon niyo.
Wala.
Sige.
Kami-kami lang.
So, I won't teach you one by one. I will teach you the tagging. No? How would they tag this? If I tag this one, what would be your answer? Example, Ha?
Di na ba?
Cast.
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 So what cast?
Eh, dili. Anterior, posterior,
What
septal.
part of that tricuspid cast?
Anterior,
Posterior.
Ha?
posterior.
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 This is your posterior.
Posterior.
Because this is your
Septal.
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 And this is your posterior. Remember ha? Demarcation. This is your posterior cast ha. So this would be your septal. Septal siya diri. This would be your anterior na part of your anterior. So this would be most likely, again na, anterior, AP, IPA, posterior and posterior and anterior and posterior. Your posterior and septal. So this would be your posterior and septal. So this would be your posterior cast. But if you're not sure with what you want to answer in your anatomy lab, you just answer tricuspid cast, no? But if they specifically tag your papillary muscle, what would be? You would answer the specific papillary muscle, no? No. So the
Septal.
specific papillary muscle is
Posterior.
posterior papillary muscle of your tricuspid valve. Posterior, no, mas taas ang lungs.
Lungs gin, bro.
Mas taas ang lungs ninyo. So guys, let's go inside your right atrium na, no?
Posterior katong set.
As kabalo masa natin yung infundibulum.
Katong dapit sa conus arterius.
Dire.
Paduro sa
Padumat. Basta. Soft man to siya part.
Aortic valve man.
Dulo sa aortic valve.
Pulmonary.
Pulmonary.
Oo, pulmonary valve.
Pulmonary valve.
Guys, imagine na if this was still the heart, your oblique sinus would be here. Oblique sinus ha. Oblique here. And transverse sinus, there's a transverse sinus, this would be your pulmonary. This would be your pulmonary vein, di ba? So this would be here. So this would be your vena cava, no? If the vena cava was longer, it would be like this. So this would be your transverse sinus.
Transverse sinus.
Unsa din ang sinus din?
Passageway.
Space. You know, space. Space.
Itag na ng sinus.
Depende if utang nila stick dire. For example, if the structures were still whole, the structures were still whole, then magbutang sila og they're gonna put a demarcation, a stick, a pencil or anything to demarcate if it's a sinus. Then you're gonna answer a sinus, transverse sinus or oblique. So oblique is very hard to tag. So you only have to remember in anatomy lab, you have to remember your transverse sinus. Now, your rough portion is
Pectinate muscle.
your smooth portion is
Sinus
Sinus
venorum.
venarum.
what would this portion is in going to your this would your fibroscapular cartilage, no? Your membranous
Membranous
portion
portion.
so
of your
above that membranous portion going into your pulmonary vein
conus.
ay pulmonary artery
Conus arterius pa infundibulum.
Conus.
infundibulum
Ay, conus.
Conus arteriosus mo na siya.
conus arteriosus
Asaan na?
guba siya
Hindi na kung maklaro.
guba ngita tagline heart wait lang. So if it's demarcating inside, if I tag this one, what would
Carni. Ito. Terminal.
Crista terminalis.
Cernas.
Crista.
Crista terminalis.
terminalis.
Crista
So if I
terminalis.
tag outside,
Sulcus
Sulcus
terminalis.
terminalis.
sir, how would I know if it's if it's demarcating outside?
In the coronary sinus. Ito lang. Joke lang. Naramdaman coronary sinus.
How would I know? How would I know? Look at this ha. It's obvious if it's rough. It's very obvious if it's rough, no? It's the rough part, diba? It's very obvious if it's rough. It's obvious if it's rough. If it's outside,
Sulcus
Sulcus terminalis.
sulcus terminalis. If it's inside,
Crista
Crista
terminalis.
terminalis.
if I tag it here,
Pectinate
Pectinate
muscle.
muscle.
pectinate muscle. If I tag this,
Cardiac reflection.
if I tag this one,
Pericardium.
this was a new specimen. If I tag this one,
Cirrus. Pericardium.
cirrus pericardium. Why not fibrous?
It's
Shiny man.
If
shiny.
I tag the opposite side, which is very ugly,
Parietal.
fibrous
Ay,
pericardium.
fibrous. Pericardium.
Look
Sa
ha,
sulod.
your fibrous pericardium is rough. Your serous pericardium is smooth. Ano? Di man obvious, sir. Natawa lang ninyo. Ha? It's very rough, while inside it's very smooth. So if I tag the viscera,
Nice.
what would be your answer? Ha? Obviously, nakuha ang viscera niya. Saan mo yung answer?
Visceral.
Visceral pericardium.
Pericardium.
Visceral pericardium.
Visceral.
Sira.
Oo, di ba? You have your fibrous, you have your serous, and you have your visceral. So actually, a continuation.
Ang
A
palitan.
continuation. Ano siya? Part mo.
Zeros.
Now, let's go back to inside your heart. Now, if I tag this portion here, these rough muscles, what would be your answer?
Carni.
Trabecular
Trabecular
carne.
carni.
Dili corned beef fat, trabecular,
Carne.
Trabecular carni.
Basta sa ventricle, trabecular carne. Sa atrium, pectinate
Pectinate
muscle.
What about this? What if I tag it here? What would be your answer?
Sinus venarum.
Look ha.
Sa sinulupit ang part na.
Depression.
Ay, katong formal.
Foramen.
Fossa.
Fossa.
Fossa
Sa
ovale.
depression ha.
Fossa
Thumb
ovale.
like depression.
Fossa
ovale.
Fossa ovale.
Fossa ovale.
Demarcation na, if this was still a whole heart, this, if it is transversing directly to your lungs, this would be your fossa ovale, be connected to your pulmonary artery. Why is it pulmonary artery, not vein, if it's deoxygenated?
Carries
Away
away from the
from the
heart.
Carries through the organ. It provides blood to the organ. That's why it's called an artery. Not because it's deoxygenated or oxygenated. What if I tag here?
Intraventricular sepsis.
IBS.
IVS,
Membrane.
muscular portion.
IVS.
If here,
IVS membranous portion.
membranous portion, muscular portion.
Diba this is the continuation of the skeleton, fibrous skeleton?
It's not the continuation, it's the whole. Because fibroskeleton is like, if we say a continuation, kasi if you use that term, a continuation would be like your fascia. Okay, the continuation of your fascia superiorly and the continuation of your fascia inferiorly.